Hello, everybody. This is Trevor Truck ASMR. We're playing through a GMOD map, and it's called Golden City. And this is version 2. So this is an update. And this map is created by Skerion, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. I first discovered this map when I played one of the maps from Quantum Dylan, and it's almost like a GMOD Inception. You play one map, and then you discover more. So we're going to explore this level. I think I'm the only person here, but I could be wrong. And this is a full-fledged city. A golden city, if you will. And this kind of reminds me of like the city level in Mario Kart World. A little bit. In fact, what is the name of that city? Isn't that one... It's not Golden City, but there's like a gold donut thing that's there. But either way, we're just gonna explore, take a look around. No one's here. No one's gonna bother us or tell us that we're not allowed to explore. And by the way, for all of you liminal space fans, I mean, for real, this is your place. And I'm a fan of liminal space as well. I'm a bigger fan than I've ever been. You go into places like this, and it's so strange how something like this can be so maybe slightly unnerving. It's not like over the top, but at the same time, there's something about it that also brings a sense of comfort and peace. And I'm all about that. This area kind of gives me a little bit of a resemblance to... There's this game called Jedi Knight 2. I think Jedi Outcast. A beloved game. I used to play it all the time when I was a kid, but parts of that back alley reminded me of this planet called Narshada. It was like really dark, really moody. It reminded you of a city of sorts. That game was very unique for its time, but I was never really any good at it. I would always die, even on the easiest level. I did try to play the game in earnest on this channel, and I wouldn't say that I made it far, but I did a somewhat decent job on it. It's a good game. It actually is a good game. Take a sip of my coffee real quick. So, as I record this, it's a Friday. Cue the Rebecca Black song. And I usually don't record on days like these, but it's a little bit different. A while back, I asked for the weekend off, and that request was granted. And this weekend, I have a rock music festival that I will be attending with my brother. So that's partially the reason why I have this random weekday off. And I'm excited about it. It'll certainly not be an ASMR experience because, of course, it's, loud rock music. And the genres, they'll kind of differ a little bit from each other, Some of it is just kind of like cool, rock music that's nice to work out to, and then you'll get the stuff that's very much decidedly not that. You'll get the heavy metal, with the screaming and the dancing on stage, and there's probably gonna be some type of classification of mosh. But I'm not exactly a mosher. I'm not known for my mosh. This is really, not to get distracted, but I love this view. I absolutely love this view. And you'll notice over there at that building, there's 3 trees, and I don't know if the wood is supposed to be purple or maybe it's the lighting, but I like the design there. Oh, and even better, there's an actual pool. Because you can't have a liminal space without some type of pool. It looks really clean. The only thing that scares me about it is that there's no clear ladder. So, speaking of pools, I just want to put this out there, and by the way, feel free to tune me out and to not really listen to the story, because I want you all to feel relaxed, and if it is safe to do so, to fall asleep. But mainly what I want is for you to feel relaxation. That's the point of all of this, as we explore this golden city. I gotta be honest, I'm also not a pool guy. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember very distinctly my very complicated history with pools and swimming in general. This story that I'm gonna tell you sounds kind of made up, but it's actually true. So, here's the thing. When I was a child, I had to take swimming lessons. And it wasn't necessarily because I didn't know how to swim. Because if you think about it, what's your most basic swim type, right? It's the doggy paddle. I think everyone learns the doggy paddle because it's what's most natural. I mean, that's the reason why it was named the way it was named. It's because that's how dogs swim by nature. If a dog accidentally slips and falls into a pool, nature should take over in theory, and the dog will swim in that manner. And yeah, the doggy paddle is kind of a clumsy type of swimming. I will admit that. There's no grace to it. But by gosh, if it's the only way you know how to swim, then you really have no choice, right? It's survival. Because there's something about falling into a body of water that sort of kicks off that survival instinct. And so again, the doggy paddle is the most natural way to swim. And at the time, that was really the only type of swimming that I knew how to do. And so I remember this was a thing, every Friday during the summer, I would go to my grandma's house, and it was me and my brother and my mom, my grandmother, my grandfather, my aunt, and my cousins. And essentially, what would happen is, we'd go over Friday mornings, play video games. We had the N64, so of course, we were going to play video games, of course. I remember some Fridays, though, when I had swimming lessons, okay? And I would start out at my grandmother's house, play some games, all the while feeling nervous because I knew I had to go to my swimming lessons. And it was a really short drive from my grandma's house to the pool. And then I would go to these swimming lessons, and, I was always nervous about them. But you know what's funny? During those swimming lessons, I was actually, if not the best swimmer, one of the best. And I'm not saying that to brag about my swimming. That's the irony of the whole situation. Like, I hated those swimming lessons. I did. But I also became the best swimmer. It's really funny how things like that happen. The point is, sometimes you really can't control what you're good at, what you end up excelling in. Oh, this is a nice room. Now, to expand upon that, I kind of want to offer a little bit of a cautionary tale, because sometimes you do get opportunities that look really nice, or at least should be really nice, and you might turn them down because you're nervous, or because, you worry that you won't do a great job. I do recall one of my biggest regrets, and of course, it's not like the end of the world, it's not like a big deal, but I do recall when I was in high school, I think somebody wanted me to join the yearbook writing staff. And I don't know what it was that got them to try to enroll me in the yearbook staff. But obviously something like that, if someone wants you to do something, then it means they've recognized some talent in you. And I think most people, quite honestly, would be flattered by something like that. Like, just imagine this. Imagine if you're a brand new YouTuber and you posted one video, you don't think much of it, and that one video goes viral. And literally 1 week later from the video's release, you get an email, and it's a large company that wants you to sort of promote. Okay? And you get into a sponsorship deal. Oh my gosh, it's a mall. It's an abandoned mall. This brings back so many memories of one of my very first GMOD videos. This is amazing, guys. See, I love stuff like this. This is great. So anyway, just imagine you're a YouTuber You post a video, it goes viral, and then before you know it, you get many, many offers for sponsorships. And it feels nice to be acknowledged, to feel like, oh wow, maybe I'm not an imposter. Look at the way the floor reflects the light. That is so realistic. Amazing. No wonder they call it the Golden City. Because that's just pure gold. But you know what? I think imposter syndrome, before people really invented the term, I think that I embodied imposter syndrome in my own way. Because you would think, okay, so they want me to join the yearbook staff, which means I'm going to be writing some articles for the yearbook. Which means they recognized something in me that they find valuable. And so I should have been flattered. And I should have said, yes, I'll do it. But I chose not to. And you know why? Because I was anxious, nervous. I was worried that I wouldn't fit in. I was a shy, awkward student. I just felt like, nah, I don't know if this is going to be it. I don't know if this is going to be for me. So I declined it in the end. And now looking back, I think maybe it's a little bit of a stretch to say it's my biggest regret, but I also think that it is a regret. And I feel like I could have, I don't know, maybe it could have been a stepping stone to bigger and better things. Who knows? I mean, you just don't know what you're gonna run into, what you're gonna encounter if you just try your best and, I don't know, put yourself out there. And, you know, I have to say, I think that's partly what drives my willingness to be on YouTube. I think I kind of hungered for putting myself out there in some capacity. And of course, when it comes to things like writing, I still write. And I have self-published some things. And I dabble a little bit in fan fiction. And I think, in my own way, I'm still trying to find a method for really putting myself out there. Because if you have a passion for something and you're a creative person, there's really no other choice. Well, I mean, you can make art that's private and art that's for yourself. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, you know. I have a really cringy fan fiction that I wrote starting as a child, and very recently I continued it, and it's messy, and there are probably some continuity errors. And I don't think I'm ever going to release it to the public, but you can have art that's just for yourself, to stretch your creative muscles, if you will. That's fine. But if you take your creativity seriously, at some point, I think you're gonna wanna show people, right? At some point. And so, you know, is a YouTube channel art? Is ASMR a type of art? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what you would consider it. I mean, it's certainly one thing if I took a pencil to paper and started to draw, and to show you my process for drawing. Now that's art. That's art, I know that for sure. But at the same time, I guess in a certain sense, ASMR can be art, depending on how creative you want to be with things like triggers, stuff like that. Ooh, this looks creepy. This looks forbidden. Ooh. I'm not afraid of a ghost, though. I'm not. What was I talking about again? What was I saying? It started out with, like, swimming. Oh, yeah, swimming. So another fact about me, and I'm almost certain I've mentioned this in a video that I haven't yet uploaded, but will try to upload soon, hopefully. So it might be kind of hard to believe, but part of the reason why I think I'm good at swimming is because my two middle toes are kind of fused together, creating almost like, I don't know, like a webbed, yeah, like webbed feet. And that's part of the reason why my swimming skills are pretty decent. And no, I'm not making this up. I was born that way. Why? I have no idea. I have no idea. But it's the truth. My two middle toes are kind of fused together at the bottom, and then they part about midway. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't consider it a deformity. Instead, I consider it an asset. So in case I need to really swim fast someday, at least I know I should be able to, right? But you know what's funny? I'm not really a big swimmer though, even today. Like, I feel kind of so-so about swimming and swimming pools. Very recently, I was doing some dog sitting and house sitting for some people I know. And so I have kind of, when I'm there, I have full reign of the house and the yard and all the resources at my disposal. They have a swimming pool in the backyard, which is nice. It's nice to look at, but while I was there, I didn't use it once. Because it just doesn't thrill me. Like, I guess I just don't get much out of swimming laps back and forth. You know what I'm saying? I don't get much excitement from that. However, the other thing about a pool, and this is why, even if I could afford one, I probably never would have one. It's because pools have such a high maintenance cost. You know? Like, if you want to keep a pool in good shape, it requires constant maintenance, constant cleaning. I remember when I was there in the backyard pool, I could not believe my eyes because there were so many bugs, species of bugs that I had never seen before, that were basically layered on the surface of the water, like icing on a cake, just dead bugs. Some of them were alive. Some of them were alive. The crickets are pretty good swimmers. But you see spiders, you see bees, you see these large dragonfly creatures. I don't even know how to describe them. It makes you not want to go into the pool. Then you see a bunch of leaves and stuff like that, and it's like, well, I'll do something nice. I'll clean it up. So you take a net, take these long nets, and you scrape the surface, and you clean up the leaves and the bugs and everything else in between. Twigs, sticks. And you know, if you really think about it, and you want to be a little bit more cynical, perhaps, a pool is really nothing more than a chlorine bath. And if you go to a public pool, you are soaking in a cocktail of human skin cells and chlorine. And I guess when I think about pools like that, I start to not want to go in pools. You know what I'm saying? And I do apologize if I've ruined pools for you. I understand that how I described a pool might come across as, you know, slightly unpleasant. I mean, the chlorine does serve a purpose. It's not like, oh, let's just fill up this tub full of chlorine. No, the chlorine does serve a purpose. However, I just don't like thinking too much about what it means to be in a pool, right? I didn't plan on speaking at length about pools and swimming today, but you know what? I guess that's kind of the beauty of doing this type of thing. You start to rant and rave about stuff that you wouldn't expect. I was gonna talk about something completely different, but I never got around to it. Which is kind of funny. It's kind of funny, but it's the truth. I wanted to talk about something else. And it just slipped my mind as I started to talk about swimming and pools and all that stuff. That's okay. That's okay. I think the unexpected has the potential to be a lot more appreciated when it comes to making content like this, because I don't think people want me to script out every word that I'm going to say as I record this ASMR. And doing this type of impromptu ASMR, yeah, I don't think scripting actually works very well with it, so I'm fine just rambling about whatever thoughts come into my head. Having said that, I hope you all have enjoyed the Golden City. I think this map is relaxing. I think it's well done. I think it provides that liminal space that we all desire. Like I said, liminal space fans, this is it. This is the one for you. I enjoy this city. And I don't, in real life, I don't like big cities. I just don't. This is the only way that I can enjoy big cities with large skyscrapers. And I think this place really captured the ambience. And overall, this is well done. Well, everybody, I hope you were able to relax, and I will see you in another video. Good night.